Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Hallelujah. Well, end of Shabbat, but you know what I'm saying. Sister New World. Shalom, my beloved brothers. I know this is a little bit off because usually I do my streams a little bit later, but I figured I want to spend some time with the family tonight, so I'm gonna get this stream started early. I'm only gonna be on about an hour and a half, and then we getting off. Brother David and Sister Sky, who belongs to Brother David. Shalom, shalom, my beloved brother and sister. HOQ, my beloved. Shalom, shalom, brothers. Furious Mongoose, shalom. Hallelujah. Sister Imabina, shalom. Westhold, shalom, brother. Yes, sir. You'll be in and out. Yes, sir. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. All right. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Brother Ronnie, shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom, Brother Ronnie. Hallelujah. How was y'all Shabbat? Emu, 54, what's happening? So, well, Sister New World, I'm here. I'm back. Why can't you see me? Can anybody else see me? Okay. Brother Dave said he could see me. You may, Sister New World, try getting out and coming back in. That might fix it. Hallelujah. It was great. Shabbat was good. It was great. We was chilling. Yes, sir. We were chilling too. We had a great study. Yes, sir. Shalom, Brother Ronnie. Blessings to your house. Hallelujah. It's always good seeing you, brother. Always good seeing you. You know, I was talking with my brothers like usual. Brother Tom, shalom, shalom. It's always cool being able to sit back and just, you know what I'm saying, having a good time with some brothers. And this is going to be a chill session. We're just chilling right now. This ain't going to be I got my wine session. We just all going to chill, chit chat, talk about some things. You know, so don't take this as this ain't it kind of goes with what HOQ said. HOQ did a video today about the whole church. I hope that the live streams that take place on 7th-day night, Friday night, I hope that they never come across as, ooh, Brother David got the moonshine out. Well, you know what, we'll have, for all of us brothers that have some drinks, but we'll we'll drink up a little bit. You know, we'll have our little, you know what I'm saying. But I hope that Brother Chris, do you and the family celebrate the Feast of Dedication? I would say no. Oh, Westhold? Yep. Not yet. Not yet. We're not doing it yet, Westhold. Well, we're about to. No, we don't. We do, let's see, what are the feast days we do? Passover?
Passover, Tabernacles.
Well, let's go in order. Zion?
The ones that they all have Passover, Pentecost.
Well, we do, no, I'm just saying all the feasts that we actually do. We do Passover, trumpets, atonement, tabernacles, Pentecost, first fruits. Am I missing one? No, we don't do Hanukkah either. We don't do Hanukkah either. I feel like I'm missing one. Passover, trumpets, first fruits.
Some people do that. I don't know. Do the
The last day of Passover?
I think that's what they call it. I mean, there's a Passover, then the Feast of Matzot, which is the
8th day?
Of Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we do that. We do the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Passover.
The last great day, I don't know what that's.
I think that's the last day of Passover.
And then the Feast of Weeks, which is Pentecost.
Yeah, it's Pentecost.
Atonement.
Trumpets.
And
Tabernacles.
Yeah,
I think that's it. My brother asked me the same thing about the Feast of Dedication. Ah, okay. Yeah, a lot of people are asking, apparently. So no, Sister Stacy, we do not do Hanukkah and dedication. I know some people who do like new moons and all that, and if you do, hallelujah. Right, I've heard of it, Brother David, a couple times, but I know people do they do. I stick with the commanded feasts. I'll just say that. I stick with the commanded feasts. Hallelujah. Yeah, our Shabbat was good. We were talking about church, on how people today tend to like the whole church religious type atmosphere today. You know, it's funny that in this faith, a lot of people leave the traditional, again, westernized church, and they just transfer over to the faith, but they still like that traditional westernized church atmosphere a lot. You know, where the pastor stands in the pulpit and you bring your wife there and your wife sits down and you sit down and you let the pastor preach to you and your wife, and then you go home and you just regurgitate what the pastor said to your wife. Come on, man. Baptists will have a potluck dinner at the drop of a hat. Me and Sister Lydia were actually talking about that earlier, about how I spent my younger years in the Seventh-day Adventist church, and she spent a little bit of time in the Seventh-day Adventist church. And we were talking about how after every, Shabbat service or Sabbath service, you have your traditional Sabbath school, then Sabbath service, then the benediction, and then afterwards, what happened, Lydia? Where you at? Come over here. I'm gonna let her say it very quickly. Let them know what happened after Sabbath service.
You have a Sabbath meal and talk about people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, everybody comes together and you have your Sabbath meal. Your meal after service, and everybody just sits down and gossips about the next person and church. A lot of people like the whole church feel. They leave, traditional westernized Christianity and they come to the faith and they still want to experience church. They want to experience the whole preach to my wife and let my wife know. And then if I go home and say something to my wife that's contrary to what the pastor said, my wife's going to go and tell on me. She's going to call the pastor, and the pastor's going to chew me a new one because the pastor preached to my wife, and now my wife is in rebellion to me because she's listening to the pastor over what I said. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we've probably seen that too many times. Okay, Sister Carrie. Okay. She had a nice lady neighbor, always invites her to the Seventh-day Church. Yeah. Brother David said when we were independent fundamental Baptists, it was the same routine: service, lunch, service. You'd be there all day. That's another thing in the SDA church. We were there all day. We got there because you had the early morning prayer session. And if you look at a lot of your so-called faith-based, Israelite church service, I'm calling them churches. They all kind of operate the same way. You get there for your early morning prayer session, then you kind of roll into Sabbath school or some sort of teaching or service, and right before you have service, what do you have? Let's see, anybody know? But right before you have service, what did you have? Outside of the greeting, the church greeting. I mean, you look at most of our churches today, they're ran just like the traditional westernized church.
Prayer, praise and
there it is. Praise and worship, offering. Now, some churches, faith-based Israelite churches, don't have the offering session, but it still mimics the same thing. You have the greeting, where you go and hug on everybody. You go and you welcome the new people. Hey, where are you from? Well, this is a great church. You're going to love it here. The person that sells those points. Everybody knows who the new person is. That's right. It's the church program. That's exactly it. The church program. People today still want that same feeling. Although they say they left Christianity, traditional westernized Christianity, they still want that same feeling. So they come to the faith and they try to find a group that emulates that very church-like feel. Well, guess what? We had church today. We had ecclesia, a holy gathering today. It was me and my family. Guess who the teacher was? Guess who the teacher was in today's gathering? A set apart people. There you go. We will be having a selection from the choir. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Yahshua." You know what I'm saying? Right, Pastor so-and-so. But for those of us that have come out of that mess, why is it that we still see so few men who actually take that time to teach their families? Why is it as men we continue to parade up somebody else to teach our families what it is to be in this faith? He said, "Sang it, bro, sang it." Why is that? Oh yeah, Brother David likes that hymn. But why is it we are constantly in a state of parading somebody else in front of our family? I'm not smoking. Why is it that we're always parading somebody else in front of our family, in front of our wives, our children, and they just teach our family, and then we go home and we regurgitate what the pastor said? Then we go home and say we had a Holy Ghost good time. How many of y'all ever heard that? Yeah, y'all having a Holy Ghost good time? Church. Just church.
The pastor was the Holy Ghost?
Oh, because they have been knocked down as leader by the system. Sister New World just hit on something right there. That's because the man's authority has already been usurped. It has already been overthrown. His authority as a man has already been usurped. So all he's doing is just going to the next place and transferring his authority to the next man. Here, sir, you take my authority. You have it. You teach my family. Never knowing that as the priest and head of the home, as the savior of the body, that's his responsibility. That's his responsibility. How is that possible for the Hebrews that changed their... Right. If you are one of those people that goes through these elaborate name changes, how is it that you... Brother Alex, shalom, my brother. How is it that you go through a very serious name change and yet still operate in the same westernized system? That's interesting, huh? But then people say, well, you're speaking against the gathering. No, I'm not speaking against the gathering. In fact, if you go to the book, does not Yah have required holy convocations, holy gatherings? Doesn't he have that? Where did the name changing originate from? Brother, there's a verse in the Bible that says that Yah is going to give us a new name. That's what the book says. And then I think that people kind of took that with the movie Roots when they changed Kunta's name to Toby, and they kind of formed their own ideology that says that we're not Israel unless we change our government name to an Israelite name. You know, Malcolm X, Cassius Clay, people like that, you know, that had their name changed. The problem is men like that actually stood up for something. The Malcolm X's, the Cassius Clays, or Muhammad Ali's. It actually meant something. Today, people change their name and they don't do anything. They change their name. They live the same way. They eat the same food. The only thing that they did is they kept, you know, a couple of the commandments. That's it. That's exactly it, Emu. Yes, but that's Yah changing it. Emu, you're saying exactly what we have been saying as brethren. That's Yah changing your name. So then what people do is they say, they have somebody else come and change their name, and that person got it from Yah. It's amazing. And these are the traditions that we take in. We take in these traditions and we think that makes us a set apart people because we attach, you know, different syllables to our name or different sounds to our name, and we throw Israel or Yasharal or Yah or Ben or Zion. We throw those on our names. But yet we don't represent what that name represents at all. We're still bound to the very system that we say we're getting out of. My name is Ben Yehuda Ben Chris. But yet I still live like my name was Chris. I still live like I did when my name was John or Tom or Keith or Bert or David. So why don't we focus on the cleaning of the inner man and it'll reflect on the outward. Instead, we want to change the name and let the inside stay continually dirty. The Pope stole the authority of men. The New Age Church is at large the daughter of the Roman Catholic Church. That is the truth. The modern day church, and we see it in the faith today, where it's still just church, where the man of God goes up and talks to everybody else as if they are not also men of Yah of their households. And I have seen it happen countless times where women fully submit themselves to their pastors far more than they ever have their own husbands. I have seen women speak about pastors with such Cletus Ben Yehuda Bar Jonah. And they're so proud of that change, although nothing changed inside of them. Cletus Ben Yehuda Bar Jonah. So you see a lot of effeminized, feeling-orientated men who will allow their wife to refer to another man as the man of Yah, when the man of Yah is the man that's right in front of them, their husband. And then you see men say, that's right, he's the man of Yah. Well, then what are you then? What are you? What is the point of you even having the Bible if you are not a man of Yah? What's the point of you even reading it if you yourself are not a man of Yah? If you're constantly in a state of turning over your power, although the Bible speaks against that, it speaks against turning over your power to another. If you're constantly in that state of turning over your power to another, then again, how are you a man of Yah? Men were men of power, esteem. But we hand that off at the drop of a dime so that somebody else can like us. And then when somebody speaks like this, we say, oh, they're anti, order. They don't want order. I do want order. Yah, man, wife, children. Yah, man, wife, children. Is that not his order? I won't allow any other men to be elevated by my ribs. That's essentially adultery. And that is absolutely the truth. That's essentially adultery. You can't have a dual-headed monster. Your wife esteems that man, but esteems you. That's why the Bible is very clear in father's house to husband's house. That's why. The man of her life as a child is her father. The man of her life as a woman married is her husband. That's not too hard to understand until you get into this westernized ideal mixed with some flavoring of Israel, where the leaders convince the men to submit to the leader as unto Yah, as if that man's a wife, as if the leader is the husband and the man, you're just the wife. So you should be submitting to the leader as you do unto Yah. But that's what the book says, that wives are supposed to submit to their husbands. Like, it's amazing. So then when I tell people, no, my wives are going to listen to me. You're chauvinistic. No, I just like Yah's order a lot more than I like the traditions of men. And if that means men don't like me because I'm saying this, well then guess what? You just don't have to like me then. If men don't like me because I'm telling them that their wives should look at them as the man of Yah, well then there's something wrong with the man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The Pope stole the authority of men. The New Age church is at large the daughter of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay with that. My original comment said the church at large is the daughter of the great Catholic whore. Absolutely. Absolutely. Carrie belongs to Jacob. That's the truth. Love what my master loves. He chooses who I can watch and listen to, and I find that attractive and its protection. I want to talk about that, especially because she said that's the whole part of a man protecting his wife. That's just another facet that men miss. Men are absolutely willing to let their wives just search YouTube instead of the man going to the wife and saying, you can listen to this person and this person. I can agree with what they're saying. This person and this person. Not you just wander the internet and you're taking a little bit. We were talking about denominations today on how the faith is literally, if you look at it, the faith today, Israel is turning into the traditional Roman, Christian, westernized church with all their different denominations. And if you look at it, all it is somebody comes off from this group, this ministry, this camp. They change. I agree with these things. I don't agree with these things. So I'm going to form my own little fellowship. And we're going to call ourselves, whatever, GMS, IUIC, whatever ministry camp name that you want to come up with. It's it's the same thing that happened in Christianity. Apostolics, Pentecostals, Baptists, Seventh-day Baptists, Seventh-day Adventists, Lutherans, Episcopalian. All they are Amish, Mennonites. All they are people that branched off from one belief. Essentially, people just continue the Reformation. That's exactly it. So now you have different large groups in the faith. That's one denomination. Then you have another denomination. I'm just like, I didn't follow that denomination stuff in Christianity. I sure as hell ain't following that denominational stuff here in the faith. My denomination is going to be, what does the book say? So I'll just be a follower. I'll just be a follower of the book, a believer of the book. I'll just do the book. If I say I'm Israel, I'm not Israel from the camp of, from the ministry of, I'm just Israel. There you go. That's just going to have to be good enough. Emu said, when you break down denominations, it means to divide the nation. That's exactly, it's dividing the divide. I'm just dividing this and I'm dividing that and divide. That's an absolute truth, brother. Brother Alex said, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. My wife reads the book and listens to me. Brother Alex, I am with you there, brother. The Bible says if a woman has any question, ask her husband at home. Ask her husband at home. But men have no problem presenting all sorts of information to the weaker vessel. You do understand your wife is the weaker vessel, right? She is the weaker vessel, and you are allowing all sorts of men to just put information in her at will. So then, where do you think some of her thoughts come from? She is just as influenceable. She can easily be influenced by the leader the same way she was influenced by music. The same way she learned music songs and learned different ideologies. Man, your wife ain't submitted to you. She's only submitted to you if you agree with the pastor. Disagree with the pastor, see what happens. Tell your wife, you know what? I don't think we should be here. We're going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go home and I'm going to study the word. Watch what happens. Just watch. Watch the kickback. Watch the fight. Watch the arguments because he's a man of Yah. Just watch. Essentially, Lutherans were the first to break from the Catholics, and that's where it started. Wow. Lutherans promoted people reading the books for themselves. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It gives me something to study. You even see so-called Israel not believing that works are necessary. No fruit necessary. Right. No fruit. Where do you think that ideology came from? Traditional, westernized Christianity. You don't have to do anything. Just believe. Even though there's no proof that you actually believe except for the fact that you said you believed. That's it. That's all your proof. Sister Sky said, modern and historic church is built on centralized power. Perhaps the true biblical model is power in each man over his own household, and therefore decentralizing power on earth and keeping it in Yahshua. There it is. Woo! Church today, hold on one second. Church today follows the model of your everyday pyramid scheme. Doesn't a lot of church look like a simple pyramid scheme? The more people you bring in, the better a brother you are. The more money you give, the better brother you are. The more you submit to the leader, the better brother you are. And if you do all that really, really well, we'll promote you to deacon or elder. Basically, essentially, the more ass you kiss, the higher you get. The more you give, you're a trusted brother now. Whatever happened to just following the book? And that usually hurts people's feelings because people want traditional church. It feels good, doesn't it? In fact, a lot of these churches today are simply recruiting, I'm going to call them very rejected men. The more you give, now you're really a brother. LOL. That's not the book. That is essential. That is so true. If you give everything, you are a great brother now. Right? Modern church is another gatekeeper. Furious Mongoose, that's the truth. Modern church is the gatekeeper. They tell you you're not of Yah. Guess what? You're not of Yah. I was told that. I'm rebellious. I'm this, I'm that. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. To leave modern, pyramid schemish, hierarchical, respecter of men's church. That's right, Brother David. Right, there are no $100 levels in the book. If you really want the word, you should pay $100, and on that level, you can really get the word. What? Wait, so I'm a better Israelite if I pay $100 a month? $50 a month? So if I pay $50 a month, I don't get to really get the inner knowledge of Yah because I didn't pay 100? Huh? And then these same groups, camps, say, well, we don't collect tithes and offerings. Yes, you do. You just labeled it a different name. You labeled it ox offering. You labeled it buffalo offering. You labeled it Patreon. It's still an offering. You're still collecting offerings. So I can't hear the information unless I pay something? No, that's still an offering. You're still collecting offerings. You just changed it. You just changed the name of it. That's it. The modern church and modern Israel would crucify Yahshua and all the apostles and all the prophets. The way it is today, yes, sir. They would crucify them all. They would get rid of all of them. You know, it's that thing that Yahshua says. I got 20 on it. Can I be a deacon? Yes, you can. If you pay me $20 a month, every Shabbat faithfully, that's $80 a month, you will be elevated to the title of deacon. You are now a deacon. This shit sounds like the Illuminati. And if not the money, then power wants your deed, vehicle, and women, married or not. There you go. Sister Sky is on it. If you ain't got the money, hey, give me your land. Give me your vehicle. Lay it all at my feet. Now you're a really good brother. Wait a minute. So if I don't do that, then I'm not a good brother, even though I keep the commandments, even though I prepared for my house. I have, I do deliverance. I pray over my family when they're sick and they recover. As does Brother David, as does Brother Andre. So I'm not truly Israel because I didn't do it through you? Is this a control mechanism? Huh? Some crazies even have that special level for those who give their wives, LOL, or daughters. Give me your women, and we'll elevate you. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with all that. I'm cool with all that. Nah, nope. I'm gonna give my own daughter away. Me. Brother Jean-Paul, shalom. Shalom, Sister Tanya, shalom to the house of Brother Jean-Paul. Sister Lydia, come here real quick. Since you've been here, how much weight have you lost? Talk a little bit louder.
About 20 to 25 pounds.
20 to 25 pounds. You've been how long?
About a month.
About a month. You see that? 20 to 25 pounds. If you count the whole time, month and a half. Count the whole time, month and a half. You had some health issues. How's that going? What's happening there?
Some of my meds have been cut in half. Not by the doctors, but just by being here, drinking more water. Some of it was initially by accident and just kept going with it. And numbers have definitely dropped and are much better now. So, gonna keep going with that.
You see that? None of this is from some hyper, super, duper spirit. It was just simply she started to obey the Father. I prayed over her. I didn't have to go into no mouth foaming in the name of Yahshua. I just prayed over her. And the results are self-evident. Huh?
I said, you started like doing all that, I was like, nope, can't do it. That's Christian. Can't do it. That scared me then.
And I know that for the brethren that I talk to, when their families, the thing is, brothers and sisters, when we do the works of Yah, I don't come to YouTube and tell everybody what's going on. I don't go to YouTube and tell everybody what's happening. Who's been delivered, who's been healed. I don't go through and do all that. I don't need to. I don't need to do it. Now I'm telling you all this because I'm just letting y'all know this is what happens in our households as men. That's what happens. And she did come. She's had some health issues. And it's all getting better. All of it. Like she said, her numbers are severely, the higher numbers, because of the situation that she's in, are bad. Her numbers are dropping, and she accidentally cut her meds in half. Wait a minute. So you accidentally cut your meds in half. Now it's intentional. And your numbers are severely dropping. You're becoming more healthy. You need them less and less. If that's not deliverance, I don't know what is. That's one of the things about when the Father says, keep your lands undefiled. Don't defile your lands. If your land is not defiled, do you know that there are going to be things that pop up growing on your property that for some weird reason are able to help assist this thing over here that you didn't even know was coming? Simply because you obeyed the Father. We've had things pop up this year. We didn't even know why it popped up. Just happened to pop up, and that's before she even came. And that just happened to be what she needed. That's the power of Yah. Right, and the rest of us. Help the rest of us. That's the power of Yah. It didn't come from foaming in the mouth. It didn't come from me doing YouTube videos to talk about what I've done. Because the reality of it is I didn't do anything. The power's through the Father. The power's through in the name of Yahshua. That's where it comes. It's called good living. Bless you, sister. Sister Stacy, that's truth. A lot of these diseases people simply have because they live in these damn cities. You drink polluted water. You eat polluted food. You breathe polluted air. You trust in what everybody else says. And no, I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be one. Let me say that. I'm not giving you medical advice. What I am telling you is this. It's not some special voodoo hocus pocus. No, I'm not selling prayer claws. I'm not telling y'all, bring me an offering and healing's going to come. Sister Sky said, we really need each family to be healthy, strong, and prosperous by their obedience to the word of Yah, work of their hands, and growth of their faith. Did you hear that? That's actually what we are trying to do. That's what we are promoting as men. We are promoting strong men on lands, on homesteads. That's what we're promoting. Not you're a strong man, but you have to be affiliated to me. No, you don't. If you make the move and never talk to me again, you know what? That's another strong brother who's on his land, if he's a strong brother, and if he's actually doing it. Brother David said, no special sermons about all about your healing powers. You hear that? There is no special sermon. You don't hear nothing about me talking about the special powers that I have in these hands. In fact, had I not made a mention of it, y'all heard even the previous woman that was here, who had the heart condition. She got here, and she, by herself, she said, I don't need the pills anymore. Stop taking the pills. I hope she's doing well now. I don't know. But she stopped taking the pills, and her heart was doing great. Said she felt better without the pills. You see, obedience to the Father is one of the greatest healers there is. Read Deuteronomy 28. It says blessings and curses. Blessings if you obey, curses if you don't. So by simple obedience to the Father in the way he wants you to live, you're going to experience deliverance just by obedience. Just by living what he says, you will experience deliverance. You have a weight problem? Let me tell you the best deliverance you can do. Go outside and work 6 or 7 hours on your property. Deliverance. Sometimes people want deliverance from things, and the deliverance is simply you obeying the book. Now, do I do deliverance? Absolutely. Because there are some things that come out by prayer and fasting. There are some that need to be cast out. But come on. I got a spirit of gluttony. I'm fat. Okay, you want deliverance? Stop eating so much. Manage your diet. Learn self-control. Learn discipline. You can't be a disciple until you learn discipline. That's why they sound the same. Disciple, discipline. Everybody wants a hocus pocus. Everybody wants a hocus pocus. It's not hocus pocus. It's not some mystified faith. It's simple obedience to the Father. Doing what he said. You ain't selling, oh, no holy water? Nah, no holy water. No holy water. The more you eat from the land, the less poison you take in. Wow. Deliverance. You want to see health conditions reverse inside your body? Live the way the Father told you to live. Just as Westhold said. Live the agricultural living and stop depending on everybody else for your food. How about that? So that we can get all that remedial stuff off and start, when it comes to deliverance and a laying on of hands, we can actually get to the heart of some of these issues. Because the heart of a lot of the issues that people have is simply your diet. The reason you got lumps growing out the side of your neck and everything is just simply, a lot of times, it's simply what you eat. You want deliverance? Deliver yourself from McDonald's, Carl's Jr. Deliver yourself from that. A lot of people need deliverance from carbonated drinks. You need deliverance from cookies and Little Debbie's. Some need deliverance from high fructose corn syrup. You want to know how you get that deliverance? Come out of her. Be ye separate. Touch not the unclean thing, and he will receive you. Set your land apart to him. Do not allow the unclean thing onto your land. And guess what? You'll be blessed. And see, and that's free. You don't have to be some super duper special person. You don't need me to come and lay hands on you. You'll experience a lot of deliverance by simply obeying the book. But so many people want to hocus pocus because it feels better, right? It feels better that somebody else can just lay hands on you and cast a demon out. What does the book say? If when a demon's cast out, it walks amongst dry places. It looks to see find peace, and it can't find any. So it returns back to its house, meaning it owns you. And it finds the house swept and clean. And it comes and it brings 7 more demons worse than itself. That's why I'm very, very picky when it comes to deliverance. I'm very, very picky when it comes to it. Very picky when it comes to deliverance. Because a lot of people aren't ready for it. And they want a demon cast out. There are some things that I just don't believe that should be done. A lot of people are just in the process of exercising demons. They give them a workout. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Now touch and reach and reach and reach. Now reach and reach and reach and reach. And that demon's like, woo, we got a good workout. You just exercised me. Now let me go back to the host and bring 7 more worse than the first. People ain't Israel unless you baptize them, right? The only way you can be Israel is if I baptize you. Otherwise, you ain't Israel. Nah, that's bullshit. I need deliverance from blowing too many flower seeds for my little girl. Tuba, bless you. He said, I plan on getting pasture land too. Wait, I missed your first comment. Hello there. We are determined to get some land. How much land you recommend based on your view to get the most? Elkown, shalom. Then he said, I plan on getting pasture land too. Want to have sheep, goats, chickens, and if we perfect those, we can get some cows. Well, I can tell you this from my experiences. I have goats, I have chickens, and I have my gardens. I've probably only used with all that stuff maybe 2 acres, maybe around 2 acres, and that includes a decent sized driveway. You can do a lot with a little. Let me see, I saw somebody say, right, Brother David said it. I recommend getting what you can afford and pay off. And what he means by that is get what you can afford and then pay it off as fast as you can. Don't do what a lot of people do, go out and get 35, 40 acres, and you have no need for 35 or 40 acres. So if you can get 3 to 10 acres and get it paid off in a year, that's a lot better than getting 30 acres for cows that you may never have. So if your goal, I've always told people when they homestead, set a reasonable goal. Don't go in with the mindset of, I need to do all this immediately, you'll get overwhelmed. So let's say year 1, you want to get cows and gardens in. Or not cows, chickens and gardens in. Year 2, you want to do goats. That's a perfect plan. Yes, get what you can, but don't overdo it. Do not overdo it, because then you'll find yourself in debt and not able to pay off that debt. Set a reasonable, quantifiable, oh, Sister Sky said it. A quantifiable goal. Within the next 3 years, achieve growing 70% of your food and eat or barter only what you grow. There you go. Brother Chris, I need 80 acres minimum. Yes, 5 acres is a fine amount. You can do a lot with 5 acres. Literally, you can have a nice fenced-in pen for your sheep and your goats. See, here's how I see acreage. And really, the extra acreage is what kind of buffer do you want between you and your neighbor? That's really what that extra acreage is about. Is what kind of buffer do you want between you and your neighbor? Now, most neighbors, when they built their houses far off the road. Far away. They want to make sure they're away from, the surveyed line. They want to make sure they're far away from that also, because they don't want to be around you. But with 5 acres, you can get a whole lot done with 5 acres. A whole lot done with 5 acres. Man. There was that one YouTuber who was making over $100,000 a year selling produce and eggs and stuff like that from his, was it like a quarter or a half acre? He was making upwards of $100,000 a year. Right, well, I would like 100 acres from either side, but that is not realistic. That's exactly what I chose a very modest amount of acreage. That L Count said it. All acres are not equal as well. Some are way more productive than others. And that is the truth. Get the baby. Brother Steve, somebody sent me an equation that was good. They said I believe it was every acre of land will produce for you yearly a cord of wood. Every acre of wooded land will produce yearly a cord of wood for you. Brother Steve. So if you have 3 acres and you left 2 acres wooded yearly, you could produce 2 cords of wood. Your trees would produce that by just simply growing. You would grow, literally your trees would expand, 2 cords of wood. So I think that would be enough. Now it also depends, because we have our outside stove area. We don't burn wood. We burn sticks that just fall on the ground. Technically, and we're in our third and a half year here, we would not have had to really cut down any trees at all for wood. We had so many dead trees laying down that were already laid down that if I wanted to, I could have been burning just the fallen trees these first 3 years, and we heat exclusively from our wood stove. And we do a large amount of cooking on our wood stoves. We have 2 wood stoves. And we do a large amount of our cooking on our wood stoves. Well, not large, 40 to 50% of our cooking on wood stoves. And we do a lot of our cooking outside. Okay, 30% on a wood stove, probably 40 to 50% outside on our outside burners that burn sticks. And we literally would not have had to cut down any trees for firewood if we just harvested the wood from fallen trees. So with 3 acres of land, you can produce enough wood to keep warm yearly, even if you were to cook with wood. Thank you. Hopefully that gives you an idea, brother. Oh, yes. Sister Scott said, understand a contour map before purchasing property. And there's a very funny story when it comes to that. We were helping a brother on his land. He was looking to buy some land. He had a map. Well, we spent about 15 to 20 minutes touring the land. And Brother David said, let me see that, because he could not read the map. And Brother David got the map and said, let me see that. Got the map, turned it around, come to find out the whole time we were touring somebody's property, we were technically trespassing because the map was upside down. The map was upside down and we were trespassing on somebody else's property. And at that point we were like, forget it. We're going back. Forget it. Nope. You had us trespassing on somebody else's land because you couldn't read a map. Yeah. Yeah. That was a very interesting, right. It was on a ravine for a lake, and I already told the brother, before you put any money down, let us know. We can go look at it. He had already dropped a nice sizable down payment and had to walk away from that money. Because the land it was in a resort area where the homes were immaculate. I'm talking, they were out here in the country, but the homes were probably, the homes and property, I'm talking like 2- and 3-story homes with garages that literally were probably the size of very big homes. I'm talking garages that had 3 or 4 garage doors. These people had toys. There was no agriculture being done out there. There was no gardens, none of that stuff. It was like almost like a vacation resort type place. The houses on the lake were monstrous. And this person wanted to live off grid in trailers amongst homes that were probably $400,000. And he thought on his property that he was going to be able to go off grid. And so we kind of had to let him know the real. If you're planning on going off grid or living in a, compressed earth home or living in a travel trailer, you want to make sure that the people around you kind of live that way. Otherwise, you're going to be the person who they're going to try to run out, because you're the person in a travel trailer surrounded by homes that are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And do you really think that they're going to want you there with goats and chickens when the people there didn't even have dogs? See what I'm saying? There wasn't a tractor in sight. There was a resort literally about 5,000 yards away. You want to be in a place where you can blend in. It's like the gray man. You want to have that gray man, right? No animals in sight. In sight. You want to have the gray man approach. You're going to stand out like a sore thumb. If you're trying to buy that land, and you are amongst people that have a certain life. You didn't see trucks with hay. You saw people with Mustangs and Corvettes. No pickup trucks, no hay, no goats, no cows, nothing. So when you buy land, make sure you buy land in areas where you could blend in. If you want to live off-grid or homestead, live in areas where people live off-grid and homestead. If you want goats, make sure I'm surrounded by people that have animals. So the way I live is not unheard of. Don't go out there and try. That's like trying to homestead in the middle of New York City. Right. Let me read some of y'all comments. Not one travel trailer in sight. There was not one travel trailer. I'm talking, there were 2- and 3-story homes. There were garages that were 2 stories. 2-story garages. A garage on the bottom, and it looked like maybe like a game room where they had like walls that like opened up so you could have fresh air. I'm talking, these were expensive homes. And you want to go off grid. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon to just buy the land and then reach out after the fact, sight unseen. That happens all the time. They purchase the land and, hey, will you check out my land? Wait, you want me to check it out after you've already dropped $5,000 on down payment. Is it refundable? No. So why am I checking it out for? It's kind of purposeless now. You already dropped $5,000 on it, $3,000 on it. Wouldn't it been a good idea to let me know ahead of time you want me to check out the land? Instead of telling me afterwards? Just saying. Yeah, right. Despite our efforts, that's right. Building on a 45-degree slope sucks, right? Right, and we say that with nothing but love in our hearts. We want, if you're going to purchase land, we at least want you to purchase the best kind of land. The best kind of land that's going to be fruitful for what you want to do. That's why I've asked people, well, what do you want to do? I want a homestead. Well, homesteading takes on a big, I mean, do you want to be on the grid? Do you want to be with sewer? Do you want to be in travel distance to a city or a town? Do you want a rain catchment? Because based on those things, that's going to determine where, because some counties have regulations. My county has 0, but some counties have regulations. Some counties won't allow you to just bring a travel trailer up there and set it on the land unless you're buying it as specifically a vacation property. Some counties don't want you taking water from the nearby lake. Some won't let you have a human manure compost pile if you live next to water, because they're afraid of that leaching into the lakes and streams. So that's why we just simply asked. That's right. Some lands have covenants. That's right. There are parcels of land out here that almost work as a homeowners association. You buy, it's like a land that's subdivided with rules. And you think you're buying land that has no restrictions because it's way out there. That land's got a lot of restrictions. You gotta be careful. The ground was full of rip-rap rocks for runoff areas or dams. It was some bull. I only got out of the van to use the bathroom. That's why I was slothful. And brother Andre's right. He came out of the van, looked around, and is like, this is some bullshit. Used the bathroom and went back into and just chill at the top of the hill until he went back to the van. Because it was that land would have been, unless you had $50,000 to $75,000 to just work the land, it would have been impossible. You would have tried to drive a travel trailer down that slope, lost control of the travel trailer, and it would have been rolling down the hill. It was that bad. The ground was slippery. I mean, it was that bad. Yes, basically due diligence is a must. If coming off grid is something that you want to do, if coming off grid is something that you want to do, if leaving the city, not even off grid, if leaving the city is something that you want to do, right, Brother David's telling the truth, folks would have died. The cheaper the property, usually the less desirable, and the greater the obstacles of making it you have to install your own roads and pathways, lights at night, and protection from flooding. You sure do. You sure do. Westhold, hit me up, send me an email, brother, and then I'll give you a contact address. It's people they buy land sight unseen. I know brothers who have bought land where you can literally see. How do you buy over 30 acres and you can see, your neighbors can see from their kitchen windows, all your neighbors can see right onto your land. There's no tree cover, there's nothing. It's just basically pasture land. And your neighbors can see your property from their front door on all sides. Privacy is an impossibility. Unless you spend, again, $50,000 to put up trees, full-grown trees, which is an impossibility. Literally, you can see right through their property.
Okay.
Right. Imagine a tornado over there. Woo! So it's just being wise. I would probably say that particular individual has more money than sense. And people do have more money than sense. Now, I bought land, sight unseen, but I had the realtor carry his phone throughout the property and give me a detailed virtual tour. Literally. He walked the property and gave me a virtual tour of the property because I was not coming out from Arizona out here. Couldn't afford it. So he walked the property, showed me the slope, showed me the stream, showed me the trees, showed me the fencing. He showed me everything. It wasn't just the first time I didn't see the rock when I first got here. I never saw the rock until I got here. But he showed me the perimeter, the interior, what it looked like. So I had a very good idea what the property looked like before I got out here. Part of pioneering your own land is being your own fire department, police department, school, and hospital. Depending on how far out you are, you may need to be re-educated on handling any emergencies, and that's the truth. When you're so far out that the ambulances don't come out here, when you're so far out, you can't order, as Pastor Fox always says, you can't order a pizza, you can't order food. They won't come out here. There's no Uber out here. There's no taxi service out here. You're not going to get dropped off out here. Damn it, the police barely come up out here. You know, the sheriff drives by once every 3 weeks. And he's flying through. That's what I'm talking about. You're going to have to learn some skills. Yes, sir. The Rock. Yes, sir, Brother David. The memories. Oh. Yeah, out here, it's basically if you have to call 911, you might be waiting for 45 to 50 minutes. 45 to 50 minutes for 911 to come up. They're coming to write a report. Oh, Stony Island Ranch said he bought his land off drone footage. There you go. Man, that means, that's when you way out. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Just as Sky said, we cannot order pizza here. Make it ourselves on the grill. That's what I'm talking about. Shalom. So how does a person go about finding areas that are safe? Next door neighbors that are serial killers or cannibals, like a wrong turn type situation. They do have those towns out here where if you're not, I'd say, related by family, you may not want to purchase because we're way out here. I would think the one thing is when we found the land, before we bought it, I looked at the demographics, at the crime. The problem was that this place is so small, they don't have crime. So you had to look at the nearest area that was on the demographics because they don't have demographics from my area. But the demographics the crime statistics were good. They were good. My realtor was real honest with me as far as the people are. You could call the police department. You can call the police department. They should give you some information on the general area. Literally, out here, one of the biggest problems, I'm talking about the Ozarks in general, not really in general, I guess say in certain sections, you're going to have to worry about, in one way or another, meth. When I worked at the hospital, we got so many patients that were just strung out on meth. Meth and theft. But if you get far enough out, theft won't be as much of a problem because people are going to give away their signature by coming down the road or something like that. So outside of that, I haven't had any problem. That's another thing. Stony Island said it right there. You can look up is it Megan's Law? You can see people who are felons in your area or sexual predators in your area. But honestly, I mean, the sisters here, they always stay nothing. Now, we've never had any runs with anybody. Praise Yah. The people out here have been very, very, very nice. Very nice. But there are people that, I mean, there's a group out, well, not a group. There's a house that we've watched because they don't like people of our color. It is what it is. But they never bothered us. They kind of have that, we'll leave you alone, you leave us alone. That works for us. We leave them alone, they leave us alone. They know we're here, and I've let them know I know you're here. Brother David said, talk. You must do due diligence. Westhold said, talk to the locals. Brother David said, best case visit. Talking to locals is helpful. I spoke with the postmaster. She was great. That's an excellent advice, Sister Tribal Lady. Go to the post office in the area and just ask them. Now, the post office out here looked like a tool shed. Literally. I mean, they are small. There are no areas that are safe. Always carry a sidearm at all times. Patrol your border and answer a shot in the distance with a shot. Welcome to 2020. That's what we do. We hear shooting in the distance, we return fire. Not at the people, but maybe a target practice. Target practice is a great way to deter people. Just have a family day where you just shoot some firearms. Let the people know we're here, we're armed, but also seek peace. Out here, when you drive by, everybody waves at you. Everybody waves. I wave back. You'll be, a car driving at somebody, and the guy will have his hand in his wheel and just be like this. And then I just throw my hand up back. Make peace. Be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. But if you have to defend yourself, do it aggressively. That's what I believe. I seek peace with as many people as I possibly can. I seek to fit in. I seek to be, considering I am a Hebrew and I do kind of stand out, I let people know, listen, I'm not here to influence. I don't drive down the street bumping music. Boom, 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 with the rag on the head. The red rag. Like this, with a blunt hanging out my mouth. Y'all got a pencil over there? I use this bark. I don't wander around like this.
That's your.
No, I don't do that. I fit in. When I go to the grocery store, I'm wearing overalls or my work clothes. And I've made a good name for myself, especially if you are a person of color. If you are Hebrew, you want to fit in. You don't want to draw attention to yourself because that's the guy that's got the
purple Power Ranger outfit.
Yeah, purple Power Ranger outfit. I don't run around screaming to the masses. I don't do any of that sort of stuff. I don't have spinners on my tires. I don't have a sticker of a guy throwing West Side up on a back window. I don't do that. I live peaceable. I live quiet. That's right, Stony Island. That's how mine looks. When they told me where the post office was, I drove by it and I was like, "That's the post office?" So the Jasmine said, "Got my sons cracking up. Blessings to the house of Booth." I just fit in. I made my name good. I mean, when I've walked to the local lumber yard out here, and they'll just give me stuff. Hey, we got some old OSB. You want it? Oh, sure. Thank you. There was a time that they put an extra bag of feed in my truck, and I was like, wait a minute. I think I ordered like 12. I only ordered 12. and you give me a 13. No, I ordered 11, he gave me 12. I only ordered 11, and you gave me 12. And the guy was like, huh? I said, yeah, my receipt, I only ordered 11. And he was like, oh. I said, you know what? Keep it in there. I'm going to run and I'm going to go pay for that 12th one. I went there to pay for the 12th one, and the guy, literally, he was smoking a cigarette because you're out here in the middle of nowhere. They'll smoke cigarettes, everywhere. So he just like, and I said, yeah, they put a 12th one in the car, but I don't know, I only bought 11. It was almost like he did this. He's like, so you couldn't pay for it? I said, yeah, I'll pay for the 12th one. He's like, okay. And I paid for it. Come to find out that just recently, they had people that looked like them. They were white folk who were trying to rob from them. And here I am paying for an extra item. And literally they're staring at me like, what do we do when this happens? I've never had this happen before. So you can set a good, if you are a Hebrew making this, you can set a good name for yourself by being a peculiar people. And I just gave them the opportunity. I was like, the Bible says, not to steal. And if I'd have walked off, even if it was his mistake, I still, in my conscience, know that I'm stealing. And I can't, I live the law of sowing and reaping. And I can't do that. And the guy was like, thank you. We appreciate it. I paid him. I left. The next time I came to get feed, they had some torn bags they couldn't sell. So he's like, yeah, we got some torn bags. Would you like them? I was like, sure. So he went up, and he's a manager. He went up and grabbed a couple of bags that were torn and shipping and threw them in the back of my truck. Free. They had 2x4s that were cracked. You want some of these too? Sure. They'll throw them in the back. If I order, I'm building something, I need 10 2x4s. He'll be like, yeah, we got some cracked ones down here. You want them? Sure. I'm talking 5 to 7 cracked 2x4s in half. Okay, great. Now I got 2 4-foot sections. That's it, Elk Count. I want to build real, meaningful relationships. I want to build real relationships with the people out here. That's where it's at. Being an honorable person. Not running around telling people they're going to go to hell. Running around telling people they foolish, they sinners, they this, they that. Nah. I'll just keep the law. And you know what? Being that I am out here, why not just let them see that there's something peculiar about this one? So he's not one of the ones like I saw on the news in Little Rock or in St. Louis or in Kansas City. And sure, do I hate the fact that that stigma follows? Yes. But you know what? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Y'all know what I'm saying. Oh, stop laughing at my singing. Brother David said, just live in the book. That's it. Just live in the book. Oh no, more singing. Elkel said the dogs are signing off right now. Now, they also do believe that we're kind of weird. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with that. HOQ said, everywhere you go, I'm gonna let it shine. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I love it. But I'll go. I'll sing. Go ahead, baby. Hey, Brother David said, we are weird too, bro. Hallelujah. That's it. Fall Sky Prepper. Right. I'm not gonna yell out, what up, fool? Check yourself, nigga. I'm not doing that. I'm not driving around, somebody looks at me and they look at me wrong, or they look at me in a questioning look. And I'm like, What, nigga? What? What, cuz? This is East Side. Pyru, nigga. I'm not doing all that. The dude's like, Pyru? What does that mean? He's a pyro? No, I don't do all that. Somebody looks at me wrong, I just share the glare back to him and keep pushing. Because you can't be a walkover either. You don't want to be you don't want to be seen as a walkover. But I'm not trying to challenge people. They're doing a country step and I'm doing a crip walk. We're having a dance off. No, be wise. Be smart. Emu said, it's cracking me out. You gotta be wise. And I think that escapes us. That's right. Stern but peaceful. Stern but peaceful. Sisters, a lot of y'all have to learn that out here, and where I'm at, men don't even deal with the women like that. We had a man when we first got here who came to our property. When he came here, he asked to talk to the man of the house. He didn't even want to talk to her at all. And there's a lot of that out here. Women tend to address women. Men will address men. And you better be a man when you are addressed by another man. Because if they see weakness in you, oh boy, that ain't good. Oh, wait, what were you gonna say?
Sometimes, like,
come on! I want y'all to hear this. And Sister Lydia has land in New York.
Sometimes what happens is if you are new and they see a female, you'll have a guy come up and ask, "Oh, I want to speak to the man," but it's not because he really wants to speak to the man. He wants to know if there's a man there. Because if there's not, you're a prey. You're easy to.
I hope y'all heard that. Did y'all hear what she said? Did y'all hear what Sister Lydia said? Who has experienced this before on her property? Okay, what she said is, a lot of the times, a man will come and ask you to speak to a man, not because he wants to meet the man, because he wants to know, is there a man there? Because if there's not a man there, you just became an easy prey as a woman. And they will test that way too. They will test that way. They want to see, is there a man around? No man? Yep, they scouting. That's it. That's it, Brother David. They are scouting. Elkow said, also speak the local language. People have to understand each other to have communication between each other. I ain't taking various language either. It's how, right. If they come to you and you come with some weird crap, you ain't about to fit in. What's your name? Bach ben Yach ben Yach Wach ben Yach Wach. Yeah. Wach. Yeah. Wow. Judah. They're gonna be like, what? What did he just say his name was? Can you spell that? Right, Chuck, you said next. It's just not. What's your name? Chris. Chris. Oh, okay, nice to meet you, Chris. Nice to meet you too. Great to meet you. Blessings to y'all too. We get such encouragement from all y'all, and they quite a laughs as well. It's a blessing to be happy and full of joy. Ebu said, damn, you was cracking me up again. Right. And they'll say, can we just call you Chris? Well, let me tell you. My Hebrew name is that, you know, but you wicked heathens wouldn't understand that. You know how they're gonna look at you? Why is this serpent harmless as doves? I'm already peculiar. I'm already gonna stand out. They already know that he doesn't eat pork. They already know he keeps the Sabbath. They already know he had a lot of people on his property. There were travel trailers moving onto that property. There were cars and trucks. There were white women and black men and black women and Mexican people. He had an abundance of people there. They already know you're the new person. They already watching who drives on your property. It's interesting. They're gonna know. Be wise. Abundant life with 5. Shalom. Alex said, LOL, talking like you're about to the diva. Right. Sisters always say he is sleeping if he is not there. Yep. If he's not there, first of all, you want your property to be in such a way that people just don't walk on, or they just show up. You want to have a gate, and you want to make sure that a person is stopping in your zone. Let me just say, your zone. You don't want them just having free reign to just drive up to your front door. You want to make sure you keep them at a distance. And make sure you got no trespassing signs up so they're not just walking up to your front door and knocking. That's a fine way to make sure you're safe. And have some dogs. Have some big dogs that bark and that can be aggressive. That'll keep people away too. I always suggest having a good dog. That's right. Sister Susan said it. A good dog is good for that. You want a nice sized dog. We got several of them, and we're breeding them. We want more big dogs. Sister Tribal Lady said that. People should not be able to walk up to your door. Ever. Ever. You just want to be wise. Oh, you have a Great Pyrenees breeding her right now. Right. We have a pit mixed with a shepherd, and then we have a Great Dane, a Great Dane Italian Mastiff, and they're breeding. She's pregnant. Can you imagine a Great Dane Mastiff pit shepherd mix? It's a nice sized dog. You want signs on your property that say you are no longer a trespasser, you are a target. And you want to give, and it's not being aggressive. It's just giving off the thing, kind of, I want to be left alone. Brother David. I guess for those of you with the ruling wife, just be ready to send her out, right? Baby, there's somebody out there. You go. New Hope Family Investments. Pit mixed with shepherd. Great attributes. I'll buy. Oh, okay. If you will buy a puppy, send me an email, brother. Send me an email. Hallelujah. Definitely, we will send some of them out. We will sell some of them. Definitely. And I'm not talking about a big price. I'm not that sort of guy. If it's going to help your homestead, I'm grateful for it, and I get to make a little bit of cash. Hallelujah. Okay. Wow, those are going to be some big dogs. Yes, ma'am. She'll run an army away. That's the book, right? Just send your wailing wife out there. What? And also, it's another good thing. Another thing I want y'all to understand. You want your wives to be able to blend in also. You don't want to go to the store and have your bobble-headed wife in the grocery store and somebody does something to her on accident and she's rolling her head. What? How dare she look at me like that? She better check herself. She don't know. I'll throw down. You don't want all that. Blend in, remember? Gray man? Gray man? All that is I'm talking about, you're already going to stand out with the idea your wife is going to have a head covering. Your wife's going to have a head covering likely, and she's going to be wearing skirts. That's already going to catch the attention of a lot of people because a lot of women out here wear jeans because they're out there doing stuff also. So if you're out and your wife, make sure that they are respectful. but also armed. If you can legally carry. Let me say that. If you can legally carry. Don't be a walkover. Don't be a walkover. But at the same time, be at peace. Brother Alex said, ha ha ha, send out your loud wives so the bad guys will go live on the roofs. Did I see the YouTuber whose Anatolian went crazy and about killed him? They had to shoot him off the owner? Wow. Wow. Stony Island said, he said, it's a good idea for your dogs to eat raw meat for survival. Yes. In fact, I talked to a guy out here and he said that right around when winter first starts or fall and it starts getting cold, he won't feed his dogs for like a week. And it'll cause his dogs to keep that natural instinct, that natural hunter instinct, and be very protective of the property. So his dog will go out and literally catch whatever it can catch, squirrels, snakes, lizards, and eat them and survive. Then it'll come back and eat dog food again, but it keeps that instinct in the dog to hunt, to gather, it keeps that responsible aggression in your dog. That's right, a good purpose for raising rabbits if you want dog food. And that's one thing that I plan on doing, raising rabbits. Do y'all know this? And I'm gonna say something that's gonna disturb some people. Do you all know that pigs are great for a homestead? Did y'all know that? Because I know somebody's gonna come out here, it's against the law to have a pig. Where'd you read that at? Where did you read it's against the law to have a pig? Anybody? It's against the law for me to eat it, but it's not against the law for me to have it. And I know that sounds like, wait a minute. Right. So you could literally have a pig on your homestead. And it can do what it was supposed to do.
If it dies, could it be dog food?
The Bible doesn't say it can't. I mean, you could literally kill the pig and feed it as dog food. You could raise some pigs specifically for dog food because most dog food already has pigs in it anyways. Or another unclean animal and it's dog food. Just make sure you don't eat the dog food. Also make sure you don't eat the dog. Or the pig. Or the rabbits.
But the rabbits equal money.
Or right.
Their pelt.
Right, the poop.
No, the pelt.
Oh yeah, that's the skin. Yeah. Don't eat the squirrel. Here's what I would say. As far as the swine's flesh, wear gloves. When my dogs die, I have to move them. I wear gloves. Right, make sure the bacon stays turkey bacon. Make sure it stays turkey bacon. Says to the Jasmine, right, I just wear gloves. When my dog dies, I put a pair of gloves on, I take that thing and dispose of it. If my pig died, well, if I killed it, dog food. Feed my dog. Same thing with chickens or turkeys or whatever it may be. Now you've got dog food. I mean, literally, in a sense, you technically kind of if you touch your dog food with your hands, you're touching the dead carcass of animals. Oh, beef bacon's awesome. Beef bacon is awesome. Yes, sir. But I know people who are raising rabbits. They raise rabbits as dog food. So, because that's one of the things that I think that we have to think about, even as far as the preparedness, as far as providing. Can you use the unclean animals for the leather? I've had a lot of people ask me that question as far as unclean animals. Now, John wore camel's hair. Are camels clean? Brother Steve, yes, I do. Yes. Right. I would not eat because technically, a lot of the things that people have, that's right. Sister Rosie said, I guess as long as you don't touch the pig's carcass, glove up.
No.
Glove up.
No.
And you're not to eat it. There are people who, they have, that's a good question. Actually, I need to research that. Right. Hey, Chuck, you said you busting through the religion. I put somebody on. Tisquan Long. I did not mean to do that. I apologize. I did not mean to put you on. Delete your comment. I'm sorry. Dang it! I did not mean to time you out. My bad. Yes, busting through the religious system. Remember, I am not a religious person. I am of the faith. I'm an Israelite, but I'm not religious. I don't want anything extra added on. Anything extra added on. Rabbits. You're talking about for a dog? That's good eating. Because one of the biggest things that I, as a homesteader, Elcount, I do, yes. I need to look that up. Yes. But I'm going to have to look up what it means by a badger, but I believe you're right, Elcount. Huh. I love Yon hate religion also. But food for your dog is one of those areas that you want to plan for. What is your dog, chickens, goats, cows, what are they going to eat? Especially in the winter. What is your dog going to eat? If it gets really bad, what is your dog going to eat? What are you going to feed your dog? So when I pose these ideas out to people, I hope you're thinking. I hope you're busting through that wall of religion where we were taught that pigs are just a no-go altogether. No. Were dogs a no-go? I know a lot of people who have dogs on their property. Isn't a dog like a pig an unclean animal? The only reason pigs are separate is because we know people eat pigs en masse in this country. Tribal lady, I've thought about that as well, because people have made a mention about football, pigskin. It's the pigskin. So I have heard different arguments, and I tend to lean towards the pigskin is part of the carcass. So I wouldn't touch the skin, but would I process it and feed it to my dogs? Yes. Just make sure I don't get it on me. Because I know the religious people are going to come out and say, well, what if, listen, most dog food, there are tons of unclean animals. Horse, some rabbit. I know people that fish, shrimp. Okay, badger skin and ram skin. Wow. What does the word badger mean? Wow. Exodus 25:5. Wow. Woo, Elcount was right. I was around an old timer who kept packs of hunting. Shalom, Sister Rosie. I was around an old timer who kept packs of honey hounds. He said back in the day, they took all types of food scraps and meat drippings and such, and mix with cornmeal and bake huge sheets of it. Oh, elder. Lots of folks don't realize most hairbrushes are made of pig's hair. Woo! C. Mendoza, shalom. We're just kind of talking. Right now we're talking about the preparedness. We started off with church, coming out of the church and churchology, and now we're on prepping. My thoughts at the point is that pig hair, boar's hair brushes, footballs are untouchable. Yeah? I never knew that. Oh, see, L count's getting... Toothbrushes used to be as well. Woo! See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That hairbrushes. But, pig's hair is really firm and strong. Especially a boar's hair, yeah. It is. Right. What do you do with Paul? Right. Oh, not Paul. John. That's right. Camel's hair. Because camels, they chew the cud. But do they have a split hoof? They don't, do they? Good day to be bald. Camels aren't clean, are they? I mean, I've never eaten one. Never had the want to eat one. Right. Some candy and jello contain gelatin. So we know the law is you're not to eat pork. But on a homestead, let's just ask, on a homestead, could you see the place of a pig on a homestead? They're about ready to take your Hebrew card. They're about to revoke it. You ain't one of us. Listen, I'm killing religion. That's what I'm doing. I'm killing religion. We have been taught that pigs are awful creatures. That's not what the book says. That's a good point, says the tribal lady. It specifically says the pig's hide. So it's not saying that all animals, not all hides of animals are unclean. It specifically said the pig. That's a good point. That's a good point. So the pig's hide is unclean, but that would mean that a rabbit hide would technically be clean, so a camel's hide would be clean then, if I'm understanding this correctly. Right, I wouldn't eat pig skins, but a pig could be useful on a homestead. Don't touch the pig is unclean because it's in the Bible and it says so. It does not have a split hoof and I think it doesn't have a split. It doesn't chew the cud. Ah, there it is. A clean animal, probably species of the antelope. So that's what a badger would be. Okay. Thank you. Brother Steve said it also. It might be the antelope. Okay. Yes, I can see the use as long as you are not bringing it into your body. It's shameful to waste the rest of it on other things. Right. So yes, that sounds right. The rabbit, camel, badger, all the other skins, the hides of them would be clean. Oh, not clean. Sorry, not clean. Not clean. Not clean. But you could use it. Just don't use the pig's hide. So, have the pig do what you need on your homestead. Shoot it. Feed it to your dogs. There you go. I mean, if you got your dogs trained, you could literally escort the pig to where you want it to go. Cap it right there. Open it up and let the dogs have their way. Have the dogs eat it. There you go. And technically, you wouldn't even have to touch the carcass at that point in time. But pigs are great garbage disposals. They're great at their job. And Yah created them. That's the thing. He created them. That's right. Right. You could literally He said, ew. You could literally shoot it, as Brother David said, remove the skin with a pair of gloves on, leave the rest there. You don't have to process it. And if you really felt the need to, you could literally do what I've seen people do before, get a fire going right next to the pig. It can get kind of cooked there. Your dog's going to have the rest of it. Dogs are dogs. I mean, there are times that your dogs may leave your property and come back with something. You're like, what the hell? What is that? You don't even know what it is. That's right. Rebecca Harris. Pigs eat anything, that's why they are unclean. Snakes can bite them and they still walk around. And then they'll eat the snake, which I've seen pigs do. So pigs have a purpose. They are the world's cleaners. Rats have a purpose. Shrimp have a purpose. Catfish have a purpose. They just were never food. They were never considered food for us. But they are food for other animals because other animals sure hunt them. Catfish get eaten by sharks, another unclean animal. Shrimp get eaten by catfish, another unclean animal. Rats get eaten by snakes, another unclean animal. There are people that own snakes, an unclean animal. Let it slither all over them just to have one. We have to get out of that religious, the same way we were talking about earlier today. You've got to get out of that religious mindset. Just like when you hear the word church. Church. You got to go to church. You need to go and have your pastor teach your husband so your husband come home and teach you.
No, dude.
You see what I'm saying? Anything that produces manure is useful on the homestead. If you can move onto rocky property, you'll understand the benefits of building soil. That's the truth, brother. Woo! That's the truth. About 6 inches underneath my soil is clay and nothing else but clay. You will extremely understand the importance of manure when you are trying to build clay-like soil into soil. Leaves, carbon, and nitrogen will be your friend. Ooh, since the sky said even human manure with the upside down smile. By the way, for you brothers in here, glasses up, bless y'all who are enjoying your favorite adult beverage. Okay, alcohol. We have to get, I think that we really have to, as Yah's people, we have to get into the process and the mindset of being very wise. That's right. That's right. Sister Tribal Lady said, pigs will clear land better than a machine. They eat the roots. Their snouts, that's why their snouts are so hard. They know how to burrow through. That's why out here we have wild pigs. We have hogs. Wait a minute. Razorbacks. That's why it's called the Arkansas Razorbacks. We have them out here. And they're invasive because they'll get into an area and they'll root everything up. They will tear apart, them and armadillos. They will tear up what you planted. They will just root through your gardens. They'll root through your cornfields. They'll root through your wheat. They will root it. Sounds like a great till, huh? Sounds like a great till. We know we have a banging time on Shabbats. It's made for me, not me for it. Killing vain religion. We don't break the commandments. We enjoy what Yah has permitted. And some don't understand that. Some don't understand that. You still got people arguing pharisaical things. You have to come to be with us. Says who? Guess what? I'm about to break something. You don't have to come to my stream on 7th day to keep the Shabbat. You don't have to. You don't have to come and be with me to enjoy the Shabbat. You don't have to go and listen to a pastor to keep the Shabbat. It's a day of rest. What do the commandments say? What do the commandments say? Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. This is how you keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor, which means you should be laboring 6 days, and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, thy son, thy daughter, thy manservant, thy maidservant, thy cattle, thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all them that is therein, and rested the Sabbath day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Shabbat and hallowed it. How did he hallow it? No work. No work. So question, if the Shabbat is a no work day, do you have to go to church on Shabbat to keep it holy? We're breaking religion now. Do you have to go to a building with other people and listen to a pastor, or turn on your phone, your television, and look at a pastor? Do you have to do that to keep the Shabbat? Simple question. Nope. Do you have to come to my live stream to keep the Shabbat? Could you keep the Shabbat, men, by simply opening up the Word with your family and being what you're supposed to be, the priest, the head, the leader, the man of Yah, the preacher, whatever term, you can be that for your house. You don't need to go to somebody else and bring your wife to somebody else. See, we're killing religion. Most people come from traditional westernized Christianity, and that's what they know. That's what they know. But nowhere in the law does it say that I have to do that. Nowhere. In fact, one of the things I've noticed about amongst a lot of men, when you become the preacher of your home, the priest of your home, when you become the man of Yah to your home, watch the level of transformation that happens in your wife when she sees you as the man of Yah in her life. Elkel said it. It's killing the church building and the collection plate. It's killing your $100 Patreon in order to hear the real word. I always hear people say, YouTube is censoring. Nah, you can say what you want on YouTube. Here's the problem. You won't get paid for it. They're not censoring you. They're not stopping you from saying it. You just aren't going to get paid for what you're saying. There's many live streams. Most of my live streams, I don't get paid for it. Oh well. So when people say, well, YouTube's censoring me. No, what they're really saying is, I'm not going to get paid for doing what I'm doing. And I want to get paid for it. That's why I'm saying I'm being censored, is because I ain't seeing the dollars for it. You're not going to view my ads. It's bullshit that's peddled, and then everybody else repeats it. Oh, they're censoring him. They're censoring him. When you get censored, they'll take you off YouTube. When you get censored, they'll take off your video. I know when I play music in the beginning of my streams, I ain't getting paid. Oh well, I know if I say something like transvestite is an abomination to Yah, I know I'm not, damn it, I'm not about to get paid for my live stream. Right, they will delete your channel if you are being censored. Now you know you're backsliding if you aren't going to a building every Sunday and Wednesday. So what I just say is, you know what? I just won't get paid for it. Okay. Did we not have a good time? Did we not fellowship? Did somebody not get delivered? Did Yahshua running around? Did Yahshua, let me ask a question. Did Paul have a Patreon where he had $100, $50, $20, $10, $5, $1, 50 cents? Did Paul have that? How about Yahshua? Did he have that? When Noah preached the word, did Noah say, the only way you're going to get this information is if you're at the $100 level? Anybody? That's right. Paul worked the job. Was he a tent maker? So that he was not a burden on the people. Right. Did Noah charge a fee to enter the ark? Hey, before you come on, right here, put it down. If you want to hear the word that's going to save your soul, because I'm being censored, you got to pay. Nah. That's right. And when Paul made them tents, he wasn't giving discounts. Brother Alex said, hey, Chucky, you crack me up. The fee, as Elk Count just said, was to repent and follow Yah. That's it. When I do these live streams, it's a joy when I get an email or emails from brothers that say, brother, we got out. We bought land. We're leaving. It's a blessing. It's an honor when I hear a sister say, I am now covered. I heard the words that you said, and I sought out a covering. I just had that recently. I heard your teaching on Ruth. I submitted myself to a brother that had shown interest in me, and now we are married. And I am covered, and they've been married for like 2 or 3 years. And I've never been happier. What? That's good enough for me. That takes one more sister that's uncovered and one more brother that needs to help me, and brought them together. Why would I not be happy about that? And he left. He's leaving. He left the city. Why would I not be happy about that? That brings joy to me. It brings joy to me that Lydia's here. And what most of you don't know is that for Sister Lydia, I was actually suggesting her to another brother. Most of you don't know that. Most people don't get that. So when I see these things happening in this faith, not because of me, but because of Yah. Why would I take money for that? Why would I suggest you pay me for that? Because if I needed finances that bad, what I would just say is, brothers and sisters, I'm having a tough time. Would you please donate to me? And no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. That's how it would go. I wouldn't be conniving. If you really love the book, really love me and really love the book, you know, Yah would put it on your heart to give. Like, nigga, you a pimp. You pimping people out of their funds. In a time, why, if I was a loving man, let me just say this real quick. If I was a loving man, why would I, in these economic times, promote people to come to my pay site when people are struggling right now? Why would I even have a pay site when I know the economic situation is shit? People are suffering. So a person can't hear the real word now because they can't afford $30 or $20 a month because they don't have a roof over their head. So now they're cut off from the word. They're cut off from real, authentic word because they can't afford $50 a month. I haven't seen you in no $400 boots, but have a PayPal for the people to send their up right. Sister Rebecca Harris said, Where I live, there are nothing but different types of Christians, Muslims, and atheists. Without saying much, Sister Rebecca, what side of the country do you live on, or what state, if you don't mind giving that information, do you live in? Because I may be able to show you to a brother or a sister that's in that area where you can have fellowship. That's why I rock with you. Hallelujah. HOQ said it. Ponzi scheme. I'm not asking for you. What is the one thing that I do? If the commercial isn't bullshit, if you listen to it, it helps me. I'm letting y'all know right now, I have put a couple more ads in each one of my videos. Yes, I have. And if you don't want to watch it, don't. And if you do, thank you. But if you don't, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to hear the word because you skipped through my ads. It doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get the information because you skipped through my ads. The information is still going to be there. It's still right there. I'm not asking for you to pay me nothing. South Carolina. I think I know a couple people in South Carolina. Fallen Sky Prepper. Sister Rebecca Harris, I'm going to get back with you on that one. Right, there you go, HOQ. I'm going to be real. I'd rather just send you something sometime. But I don't need anything. I don't need it. But Yah's put it on your heart. And I'm thankful because I be sporting the same t-shirt I wore yesterday. Ain't no hood like brotherhood. HOQapparel.com. Again, HOQapparel.com. Shameless plug. Would bees be considered as an unclean animal? It's an insect, yet we use it for honey, and they use it in ancient times. They use it as a medicine to heal. I have gotten many conversations about that, brother, because I've had people tell me that I'm once again breaking the law because I eat honey. And then I said, well, it says that John ate locusts and honey in the wilderness. And the explanation they gave me was this. The honey back then was the honeydew. It was the honey from a melon. Because back then, the juices of the fruit were considered honey. And I was like, how long did it take you to make that shit up? How long did it take you to make that shit up? Just like people today, you can't eat chickens because chickens don't fly. Well, then I go and look at my chickens that are 30 feet up in the tree, and there's no branch that's low, so it didn't climb it. And I look up, and I'm like, that chicken is 10 yards up in my tree. And I know it's been there for a while because it's got a big mound of poop on the ground, which means it roosts on that same branch. So if chickens are unclean and they don't fly, can you please explain to me what kind of hops a chicken had to have to jump from the ground 30 feet up in the air? But usually this is people who have never owned chickens. So they read it on some online, and that's where religion's taken us. We just read what somebody else says, we take what somebody else says as truth, and we don't actually even know ourselves. So I got some chickens, and I'm looking at chickens 30 feet up in a tree, and I'm saying, how the hell did it get up there? But then you listen to the definition of flying, and they want the chicken to fly like an eagle does. Does the chicken fly, yes or no? It doesn't crawl on the ground. It jumped up and flew. If you look at, there's all sorts of animals. Turkeys, when you go turkey hunting, a lot of the time the turkey lands on the ground and it's hopping along the ground getting food. And it'll spend hours on the ground eating food. Hours without flying on the ground eating food. It's crazy. Brother Andre, Westhold Forge said he needs some shirts made. Not a lot, but for gifts. Well, brother West Soul Forge, he makes great shirts, and he makes custom shirts too. He makes custom shirts, and no, I don't get a kickback for this. He makes custom shirts too. So I just want to make sure, Brother Andre, you saw that. If y'all can get in contact with each other. The B issue, honestly, I have never actually in depth studied the B issue, because when I looked up the word honey, it said from bees. So if John ate honey, there are some things that I know that I don't fully understand yet when it comes to reading the word. It's on that list of things that I want to study. But honestly, right now, I'm going through, and right now, I'm studying the Sabbath. I had a great talk with my brothers, and that has been where my study is. What does it mean to keep or break the Sabbath? What is the Sabbath made for? What are we supposed to do on the Sabbath? Because I've came from Christianity. I've came from these camps and these ministries that have their own interpretation of what they mean and what they say you can and can't do on the Shabbat. Oh, Brother Alex. Oh, Elcoun's right. And that's the thing, Brother Elcount, that's the thing that I was looking at too. A baby drinks her mother's milk. Technically, according to Torah, a mother's milk, according to what you think the law is, a woman's milk would be unclean, right? Would you eat human? No. But do babies drink the milk of a human? Yes. But eating one would be unclean. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see how that rabbit hole goes? Which means then, and we see in the story of Maccabees, in Maccabees, I believe it is, it actually says that the women gave suck. Maccabees 8, 2 Maccabees 8 or 7, the story of the 7 brothers that died. The mother responds to one of the sons and says, "You gave suck." So that the son was sucking on the woman, and she wasn't a Torah breaker. That's right, West Hope. There's nothing more clean than a mother's milk. So that's where that study has to go. But after just that part, I was like, wait a minute. But babies drink milk. Yet they don't eat their mom. We don't eat humans. But mother's milk is the best milk for a baby. Oh yes, Sister Rebecca Harris, if you are looking, there is a Sisters Fellowship group that we do have that you can communicate with each other. Sisters. If you send an email and download WhatsApp on your phone, send me an email with, if you're comfortable, with your phone number. I will send it to the sisters and they'll add you to the chat, and you are going to be free to communicate with 30 or 40 or 50, I don't know, sisters around the country. And that's honestly how a lot of them have come together, had fellowships. I'm just going to say, that's how women have even found husbands. They'll converse with other sisters or converse with other wives. And there have been women who join houses through the app. Men are not on the app. I do oversee it every once in a while to make sure there's no bullcrap going on, but it's a sister safe zone. There's no men coming in there calling you out, talking, making fun, none of that. It's a sister safe zone. Some of them are on there. You saw Emma Bina. She's in the mother's in the chat. She's always adding in, and it's a wonderful place for sisters. Nothing more beautiful than the milk supplier. I'm talking about the mother. Get your mind clean. Listen, brother, my mind was already gone. You already know. It was already gone. Brother Frank, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Brother Frank. That's a thing for me lately. Scotty John, what were you referring to, brother? That's a thing for me lately. Yeah, y'all need to leave that milk alone. Yeah, West Hole, I don't know if you saw HOQ Amy's, she put the website there, HOQapparel.com. John Ishi, shalom. Scotty John says Sabbath keeping. Yeah, I've been studying that one because there are so many people that have different perceptions on the Shabbat. And I know people go to that verse in Isaiah, you're not supposed to do your own work or do your... If you read that chapter in context, you'll see it's talking about a fast that Yah prescribed. There's a fast in which you do afflict your soul. And that fast would be what? If you read that chapter in context about calling the Shabbat a delight, if you read that chapter, you'll see what Sabbath he's talking about in that chapter. And that would be what? 1 Day of Atonement. It's the Day of Atonement he's talking about. It's the Day of... People read that chapter and think that means every Shabbat. There was one Shabbat where you were commanded to afflict their soul. Day of Atonement. So when it comes to the Shabbat, and if you want to know, Brother Scani, I'm deeply diving into these because we have to understand, like when I look at the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Seventh-day, right, also it's only commanded to appear certain times at the temple. People think church is the temple today. Brother, you are on it. We were talking about that today. About there is only 3 times that are commanded holy convocations or holy gatherings. So where did we get this idea? Now, I know in the Renewed Covenant Church, they met and discussed the law. They discussed the word. But is that a required thing? Is it required for you to go to church? Are you forsaking the fellowship of the brethren? If you decide, I'm not going to church today? Did you forsake the assembly of the brethren by not going to church? This is why we study. We study to show ourselves approved. Can you imagine how the Pharisees felt when people started studying things that were against what they were teaching? Can you imagine what angst and what anger they felt? Can you imagine that? Because the one thing we see in the law, it's a day of rest. No labor. Cease from your labors. And that includes your mental labors. Leave your mental labors. That's one of the things that when I first came out here, I struggled on. It was hard to put aside thinking about what I had to do on first day. It was hard. I did it, but it was hard. Look at us now. Now I'm at peace in the Shabbat. I rest. And this is what I was talking about in the video. We're taught the Sabbath is the day of rest. Okay, so get up and make sure you're at the tabernacle by 9 or 10 so that you can be at church because you know your pastor's taking attendance and he'll notice if you're not there. So it's a day of rest, but for a lot of people, like for those of us that homestead and are working 6 days a week, that Sabbath day of rest may be one of the few times that we are able to spend extensive amount of time with our family. Because we work our ass off during the week. The sisters are working their ass off during the week. We're tired at night. So Shabbat may be that one time, especially during spring, summer, and fall, where you may be able to come together. But we can't even come together. I can't even teach my family. Now we have, weekly Bible studies where there's I'll proposition an idea and say, today I want y'all to think on this for the week. This is your topic you are going to think about as a week. Right. Husbandry. We are to be husbands. The root word of husbandry is knowing how to raise crops, raise animals. How can you raise anything if the opportunity that you have to raise them, you're at church? So who does the raising? It's kind of like, here's how I see it, brothers and sisters. The same way people will say, you send your children to the school system to learn. Many of us send our wives to our pastors to learn, when it's your responsibility to teach your wife the same way it's her responsibility, along with yours, to teach your children. It is not another person's responsibility to teach what is yours, men. You are passing off the responsibility on somebody else. It is your job. That's why the book says, if you want to learn anything, go to your husbands at home. That's why it says that. It doesn't say if you want to learn anything, sisters, go to your pastor, go to your elders. Go to your husband at home. But today, we are so willingly, because it makes our job easier as men, doesn't it? It means that you don't have to study as hard. All you got to do is put your wife in front of somebody else. Put your wife in front of Pastor so-and-so, Maury so-and-so, Sister so-and-so, Ema so-and-so, Brother so-and-so. And you don't ever have to do the job yourself. But yet you want a wife. Wives. You want 3, 4 wives so you can take them all to church with you and sit in front of somebody else. That's right. Do a search on the word church and where that came from and its meaning. Look at, so that people get slick. We're not a church, we're an assembly. Listen, you're still a church. You operate like a church, you're built like a church. The pastor's on a pulpit like a church. You're a church. That's like somebody saying, well, I'm not in jail, I'm just experiencing freedom behind bars. Now you a church, you still in jail. That's right, Brother Frank said, study at home. Shabbat, in my opinion, set down, rest, and love Yah. Rest and love Yah, that's the truth. But in the study, I was showing the sisters, I was looking up the definition of Sabbath according to your westernized traditional Roman Christian church. And all their definitions fit exactly how Israel does the Sabbath. It was the exact same way. We just took Christianity and brought it in. We act like you can only do deliverance on Shabbat. Sister Rebecca said that's how we had to do it there. Be there at 9 and come out when the sun go down. That was called keeping the Sabbath holy, to be in church. That's right. That is, we were just talking about that earlier. You have to be at church in order to keep it holy. So is that what Abraham did? Because we can all read in the book where Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Job, Noah, Elijah, Elisha, David, Daniel, we all read the 12 patriarchs, the 12 sons of Jacob. We all read how they went to church every Shabbat, right? Right? That's what we read. No, they didn't go to church. It doesn't even say go to your sister's husband. Nope. not Brother Ken. But see, the problem is that if they preach, think about this. Why is it advantageous for the pastors to keep people in church learning from them? Why is that advantageous? It's advantageous for him to keep them in church, because the more they leave, that's why pastors all fight for them superstar, money-making, ex-NBA, Hollywood, NFL players, MLB, hockey, golf, badminton, tennis. I mean, it's a lot of money in there, ain't it? That West Hold Forward, that's it. That's the book. Where two or more are gathered in my name, I will be in the midst. Scotty John, that's also it. They get to control what is being taught. The same thing that happened in slavery. That's it. Elkown. Woo! Abraham went to Noah. Woo! That's the truth. What is wrong with a couple of brethren getting together and having a study together, discussing the word together, and then going home or going to their families or getting off the phone in our case, and then discussing the word with our families? Are we not keeping the Shabbat? Are we breaking some sort of law by doing that? Right, they need a new jet. That's right, Emu. They need a new jet, new cars, no $400 boots. They need, a new building. They always need something. And they building up everything they got from the money of the people. That's right, Elder. That's why Yahshua, that's why Yah left us this book. Because he already knew this shit was going to come. He already knew that people were going to make money off of the ignorant. Let me go back. Lazy dudes think that they deserve more wives and children, but lack the diligence to teach and lead themselves. That is straight up fire. That is straight up fire. Men always want more wives, more sisters, more women, but ain't taught them nothing. They pass the responsibility off to the next man. Go to your husband that's home, right? Heathen circus in the Greek, if I understand right. Wait, what? So church means a heathen circus in the Greek? Woo! Paul taught on days during week as well, during heat of the day. They assembled during weekdays. He stopped work, taught a while, then returned to work. He wouldn't be working on Shabbat. Right. Right. Right, they got to pay that college debt off. But then they'll say that for us talking like this, we're heathen and we're anti the book. No, that's exactly what Ecclesia stands for. Ooh, Brother Ken. We removed the word Ecclesia and replaced it with church. Wow, see, I didn't know that. Yes, it is related to the word circus. Did y'all know that? Y'all just spit game to me. Wow. Well, the pastors in the Christian churches don't care what the members do, just as long as you pay your tithes. And they half teach the Bible because they're worried about offending people. Truth. Absolute truth. We can't say that it's going to offend them. They might leave the church. And they might take their tithes and offerings. I praise Yah for the book and the opportunity to live it. You notice that he didn't say just read it. We have the opportunity to actually live the book. Live the book. We have the opportunity to pick up the book, read it, and then say, I'm going to live this. I'm going to live this. To teach us history and his commandments. That is it, Elder Barak. But they need to just teach the whole entire Bible and let the word cut, heal, and restore the people. That's it. Because people think it's their power. It's not their power. It's Yah's power. See, I didn't know that the church meant, I gotta study that now. Right, we have the opportunity to be doers of the word right now. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not a matter of what can I tell you to convince you so that you can say, you're such a man of Yah. No. I want to see the best out of all of us. I want to see the best out of me and my family first, because judgment starts inwardly first. After it's inward, it's my brothers. Then it's the brothers. I would love to see all of us walking in truth. I would love all of us. You know, you strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. But what if we all were shepherds of our home? Searche is related to circus, the German-Scottish translation. Wow. With all the lights and music, maybe church does mean circus. Right. The people, you know, looking all half retarded. A lot of times it looks like a circus. But Brother Frank, you already know who that is. You already know who got that one. It ain't me. Do we vote, Elkown? Yes, we can vote. We can, no, you can't vote. How about this? The Hebrew and the Israelite man of the year is every man that is the head of his household. You are the Hebrew and Israelite man of the year. Guess who the man of the year is in my house? Me. Guess who's the man? In fact, because I had Sister Lydia listen to the song The Man from Aloe Black. Go ahead and tell everybody. Oh, you can tell everybody. Oh, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. So I got in trouble for that song. Every man who is the head of his house, you are the man. You are the man. You are the man of Yah. You are the head of your household. You are the man that Yah set up. You are the man that your wife should look up to. You are the man that your children should look up to. You are the man. So be it. Just be it. And let the naysayers talk. I'll count on with you. That's what I want to hear. Well done. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Come on in. I got a place for you. I'm grateful that my beloved brothers always push me to be the best version of me for our master. And West Soul Ford said, a little drink in me and some good word. I need this. Hey, brother, we all do. We all do. I needed to hear this. I need this fellowship. That's why I got on a little bit early, because I said I was only going to be on for an hour. And it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. Brother Yehudin, bless you, my brother. Thank you. I am honored, brother. Thank you very much. I asked that question in Bible school. How did ecclesia get translated to Kirche? Right. Brother Alex said, I'm on duty. No whiskey for me. But he might have a drink when he gets home. I'm glad that you, FY, and your families, I love y'all to the max. That's right. I love Brother HQ, brother. I love y'all. And I think the truth of the matter is what we're pushing is little brotherhood groups, little groups of brothers that can come together. It's almost like you're making a mutual assistance group. But more than a mutual assistance group, how about mutual assistant brothers? How about instead of a MAB? How about we form MABs? MABs! Mutual Assistant Brothers. And then we have mutual assistant brothers everywhere. And then you know what? Maybe there could be times when we can come together because we have mutual assistant brothers who are outside of the church realm of things. A MAB. Mutual assistant brothers. That has a nice ring to it. No, Brother Kid, that's way too complicated. Marine Expeditionary Brigade. No, MAB. Mutual Assistant Brothers. Where we mutually assist each other. But that means that nobody can come in and try to be on the come up. You can't be on the come up and be in the MAB. Because you got to bring something. You got to offer something to the MAB. That sounds a lot better. That sounds a lot better to me. It is not winning every battle, but making to the end to see Yahshua. That's it. That's it. I've lost battles, but you know what? I'm winning this war. Oh, wow, the keto diet. Yeah, so if you have a little bit, it's going to hit you hard. Woo, boy. No, here I was thinking you're talking about forming some whoop-ass group. Well, if I ever was promoting a whoop-ass group, I would never do it on YouTube. I would never go on YouTube and say, look at me, I'm in the army now, I can handle whatever. Nope. Speak softly, but carry a big stick. Be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. I don't flex and show what I'm doing. If you want to try it, you can try it. But you ain't going to know what I have the capability of until you find out what I have the capability of. Then you'll know. I'm just saying. Right. Here's my shit hits the fan stash of all the ammo and guns that I have for 2020. Look, I got 8 cans of 9mm and 4 cans of 223. And look, this rifle right here, yep, I sighted it out to. I'm just looking like, did you just show everything? Yeah, no YouTube training videos. No, let me show you us training so that you know that we're about business. None of that. No showboating. No showing you with my BB gun out there, you know, shooting steel. None of that. None of that. I don't need all that. I'm good. I'll let everybody else have that glory. Right, no trap game. No trap game. L-Count, you're right. Never show your hand. That's like playing a game of poker and thinking that you're so untouchable that you got your cards facing the wrong way so everybody else can see them like, yeah, I'm about to beat you all. Look what I got. Nope. Being smart and wise. Be calculated. If y'all ever played chess, you know what it means to calculate. You don't start the game of chess with your king in the front. No. You plan. Right, yeah, right, Brother Alex. Yeah. Y'all gonna be scared of this straight flush. Look at this. Y'all gonna be scared of it. No. I learned lessons of even how Yisrael fought. How the Maccabees fought. How Gideon fought. Right. And I'll say it one more again for the record. One more again. I love my master, Yahshua HaMashiach. That's my master. That's with or without wine. I love my master. And I will serve him until the breath leaves my body. Now that's one thing that I will show y'all. And my incubator. You like it? So I did see that, Brother John Ishii. You sell ammo. But my BBs, if you happen to have any BBs in 40 cal, I could use some. Ah, he's got all but the 270. It is. It's Yahshua or nothing. And that's life. People ain't gotta like it. You ain't gotta like my walk. Great. Don't care. But this is mine. And I serve Yah with all my heart, all my soul, all my mind, and all my strength. And I think that there's a lot of us in here that do. A lot of us. Including the ones that haven't said anything that have been part of this chat. But guess what? For those of you who are part of the chat, or if you ever logged in, I do have the ability to see who logged in and how long you were actually logged in. Because I know I'd be getting some spies in here. I'd be getting the spies. I can see y'all. Don't ask me how, but I can see y'all. I can see the exact time you logged in and the exact time you logged out. Anyways, I hope this was a blessing of a stream, being that it was kind of impromptu. Oh, Brother Frank, you should have seen yesterday. It was terrible. But yep, I still got them. They still show up. They still show up. A lot of them show up to spy to make sure none of the people that are part of these groups that they're in are actually in the stream. So they can go and run and tell it. Since the New World said, sort of boring without the trolls. They were bad yesterday. Oh, West Hall, you've been here for a while. I'm not worried about you, brother. I'm not worried about you at all. You've been here for a while. But I get the spies from certain groups who literally come here to spy to make sure nobody else that's part of their group is actually in the stream. Because they're going to go tell it. They're going to go tell the master. Yehudin, that is sad. That is sad. It is terribly sad. That's how they roll. Right, Wessel. F them. F them. So I hope you have a blessed Shabbat. It was a blessed stream, bro. Real brothers and sisters enjoying fellowship. That's it. Real brothers and sisters enjoying fellowship. I enjoyed you all thoroughly. I enjoyed having a drink with y'all brothers. Bless you all. Thank you all for being here. Have a blessed work week. We are going to be putting out videos this next week. We're trying to get quite a few out. The sisters got some coming out. And they may have a live stream on 5th day. We'll see. Bless you all. Be productive. Get it done. And shalom.